So, I went to see The Revenant last night with my fiance, and these are my thoughts. Here they come. Now, I'm going to need to spoil the movie a little bit, because it drives a bit of the plot. You may not know very much about it. In layman's terms, if you think this movie is Leonardo DiCaprio with a beard in the snow, um, yeah, but there is a story to this, and there is a reason why he is in the snow. There is a reason why he suffers the way he does. Um, it's set in 1800s, sort of frontier America, really gritty time. He's part of this company that's sort of hunting animals, collecting fur, collecting pelts, and just doing whatever they can to fund that. They're encroaching upon the land of the Native Americans, and there's the movie hits the ground running. It's like the D-Day battle of from Saving Private Ryan, but in reverse, because they're trying to get into the water instead of out of it and on land. And that's how it all kicks off. And then, like through a series of circumstances, Leonardo DiCaprio's character Hugh, what's his name? Hugh Glass? Yeah, Glass. Gets attacked by a grizzly. You all know this part, okay? A lot of people will go into this knowing that there's a grizzly bear fight, and there is. I'm not going to say too much about the fight, but it's brutal. Yes, it's a CGI bear. All the animals in this are CGI. That's just the age we live in now. But it's grim, and that's the movie itself. It's grim. It's a gritty, grim masterpiece. The bear beats the fuck out of him. Don't fuck with bears. And it's a really, the way the scene comes. I mean, I expected it. It doesn't play like a horror movie. It doesn't play with the bear just sort of jumping out of the bushes and giving you a jump scare. It's not like that at all. There's far more tension to it. Whenever the attack happens, you're terrified because of how powerful the thing is and how much it fucks him up royal. But goddamn, the group end up sort of looking after this guy because that's, he's their guide. He's their guide. He's their scout. But he's just so badly injured by the bear attack that but they elect to they leave two people behind. One is played by Tom Hardy. One is played by Will Poulter. The third guy is actually Leonardo DiCaprio's son. He dies, and that's sort of the that's the raison d'etre for Leonardo DiCaprio's character going on after that. That's his modus operandi. His son is murdered by Tom Hardy's character. Tom Hardy's character, Fitzgerald, he's mean, man. He's not a nice guy at all. Tom Hardy is one of those guys who seems to be getting cast as villainous characters, but unlike, say, Alan Rickman or Charles Dance or someone like that, you don't see him as the guy who's typecast as villains. In this one, the guy is greedy. He's cowardly, but kind of pragmatic. In the environment that he's in, you can almost see why he's making the decisions he's making and why he's doing this, because he's doing this to survive. He's in the wilderness. There are these natives that are out there scalping people. He doesn't want to run amok of any of the local wildlife. So yeah, he's making these conscious decisions to do that. And it's kind of weird. A lot of people are going, "Oh, this is the movie that Leo will get the Oscar for." Maybe he will. It's not acting as we've seen it before, because it's, it doesn't look, none of it looks fake. I mean, I've heard of the production stories on this. They were filming it using natural light. There was very little studio work. They were out in the wilderness. They were up in Alberta in Canada, up in actual mountains, in the rain, in the forests, up the rivers, just all of it. They were going over budget. They were going over schedule. It sounds like a nightmare street. The guy who directed Birdman shot this, and it's kind of telling because there are one or two moments of single shots, and it's still done beautifully. There's a wonderful shot at the start. There's a battle at the start, and there's one single shot that goes from person to person and back again. I love that. So yeah, and that kind of comes in, as well as in Birdman. There was this wonderful sort of constant drum beat that played through that really kept things upbeat and kept the momentum going. In this, you'll notice this because some of the instruments sound like wildlife, like forest life, and I thought that was really cool and really chilling in parts. So yeah, man, Tom Hardy's character again in this, he's great. If you're a Tom Hardy fan, he's brilliant in this. If you're a Leonardo DiCaprio fan, we haven't seen this before. This is a very nuanced performance. There's very little dialogue from him. It's all facial, it's all gritty, but again, it doesn't feel like acting because he's in these rivers, he's falling down these cliffs, things like that, you know, and like it's kind of hard to describe. It's a really visceral, gritty experience. You like things land, okay. It's very violent, it's very brutal, but it never goes into schlock territory. It's not gory. But you'll see what I mean. I can't, if I say any more, I'll spoil it. But goddamn, the whole cast is excellent, by the way. Will Poulter, the kid with the eyebrows, who's in bloody everything nowadays. He's in We're the Millers. He's in those Scorch Trial movies. Yeah, that kid's in it. He's good. He's like the moral sort of center of this. He's not too happy about how things are proceeding. Tom Hardy's great as this almost scene-chewing villain, but again, he's pragmatic. You can see he's got his reasons for what he's doing. Donald Gleason's in this, and between this and Force Awakens, Donald Gleason's having a good month, man, and I appreciate him. I'm like, yeah, there was one scene where I'm like, yeah, Donald Gleason, don't you take any shit from Tom Hardy. You do that. But of course, it's Leo's movie, and he owns it. Him and the bear. The bear also owns it. I mean, yeah, like I said, it's a long film, okay? So, and that's not always a bad thing. There's not, you know, it's nice to be immersed in a really great long film. And this film has to be long because it's about an arduous journey home. It can't just be an hour and a half affair. That's like, what is that? Having said that, if, you know, I feel the need to warn people, this is a long movie and sometimes it's going to feel like a long movie. I saw people just pick their coats up and straight up leave the cinema. They weren't sitting around for anymore. Those people missed out on some really great stuff in the third act, some really, really surprising stuff. So that's on them, but I liked it. Fiance, what did you think?
It was pretty good. Loved it. Leo's the best. Still would, even though he's torn up by a bear.
He gets really torn up by that bear.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to be in this video, or are you happy just being the voice in the background?
I'm a background voice.
She's happy to be a background voice.
And what do you call him? Morgan Freeman.
Yeah. So so that's the Fiance review. So yeah, it's yeah, watch it. It's a real treat. Okay. Between that and Hateful Eight, these winter westerns are really making a comeback. So those are my thoughts on The Revenant. If you like this vid, please click like, subscribe, view, share, and all the usual jazz. And I'll see you when I see you on YouTube. Goodbye.